Good afternoon. Welcome to Two Tall Stitchers. This is Flosstube number 51. I'm Carol. This is my daughter Jennifer, and we are delighted to spend the afternoon with you, or late afternoon.
Yeah.
We've been busy today, and we'll tell you more about that. And we just wanted to come and say hi and share all our stuff with you. Yeah. If you're returning, welcome back. We're glad you're here. If you're new, hope you stick around and subscribe and come back and put up with our nonsense.
Yes.
So first off, I guess we'll thank our new and returning subscribers.
Yeah, so I was able this time to look through some of our new subscribers. We have a few since our last episode, so I just picked a subset of those names to say a special welcome to Susie, Kay, Jennifer, like your name, Trina, and Victoria, and all the other new subscribers that we have. And then also wanted to thank 3 Flosstubers who mentioned us. Dottie, who is stitching Scotty and faithfully watches and comments on our videos. Thank you, Dottie.
Yes,
recently filmed and mentioned us. Dottie, I haven't watched it yet, but it is in my queue to watch soon. Cross Stitch the Globe, Allison and Stephanie are a sister pair, and they do kind of a neat thing in their Flosstube where they talk about milestones. So they mentioned us for our 50th episode last time, like when people hit viewer milestones or episode milestones. So thank you very much for the mention, ladies. I really enjoy watching your video, and I think it's Stephanie is the one who's a travel writer, and she is in the process of taking her pictures and converting them to charts. Because she takes pictures as part of her travel writing. So very cool stuff.
That's neat.
And they both stitch them. And then also Esther, who is Speedy X Stitcher. Thank you, Esther. I'm pretty sure, again, haven't seen yours yet, but I'm pretty sure you were talking about the FFO challenge because you've been FFOing like crazy. Good job.
And I have a lot of catching up to do. I'll catch up on you guys. We want to say hi to Liz, Ann, and Julia, who are some of the gals who were at our stitching meetup at the Zionsville Library last Saturday. They meet once a month, and so we've had fun getting to know them, and we got to go there in the snow, but it's all gone.
Yeah.
So, and then who else? Oh, Ben, and I hope this is right, Jason. If it isn't, you can just shoot me the next time you see me, Jason. But or whatever your name is. I hope it's Jason. Oh, but Ben and he and Ben were in the store yesterday, and Ben picked up this gorgeous squirrel needlepoint kit that I can't wait to see finished. And Ben is a needle pointer extraordinaire, so it'll be great to see that. So hi guys.
Yeah.
You have a quilt of the day.
Quilt of the day, hot off the press. This quilt is called Urban Chained by So Kind of Wonderful, and I'm usually not this organized with my quilt patterns, but I was with this one. So I bought this pattern with the chain pieces as a kit at Pumpkin Vine Quilting in Middlebury, Indiana, which is now closed.
It's a great shop.
But I just thought the colors were so great. They're like rich fall, winter colors. And then the next year when we went back, I took the kit with me, and I bought the background fabric, and it's a nice light tan with just a little bit of texture in it. I really like it. And so this quilt I sewed last year or the year before, 22 or 23. And the top was finished, and it was in my pile of to be quilted items. And for January, my whip goal came up to make a quilt back. So I pulled this and I was like, I'll make a quilt back for this one. And so I found this crazy loud paisley print that has purple and blue and pink and green, and really I think goes nicely with the colors in the quilt, especially this purpley color.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just kind of wild and fun, and let's be honest, I'm not going to use that in a quilt top, so it's a perfect back. So I made my quilt back, and then I was like, well, let's just put it on the machine. And I put it on the machine, and then I did what I usually do, which was stare at it and say, how should I quilt you? And it didn't speak back to me for a little while. And then when it did, I decided to do a combination of hand-guided and ruler work. So in the neutral is all the hand-guided. I just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like, I guess you kind of call that like etch-a-sketch is what I call it. And then I decided in the curves to do ruler work. So with a ruler, I followed the curve 3 times. And I did it 3 times because then I could continuously move all the way down. The first part went great. The ruler work did not. And my first pass from one end to the other, I think I had 8 times the thread broke on me. So I walked away for a little while. It was best for me and my machine. And anyway, figured out a little bit of what was causing it, never figured out all of it. I think I mentioned last time it's about time to get my machine serviced.
Yeah, we talked about the number of
stitches.
stitches.
We talked about the number of stitches. But anyway, I got it finished. I love the quilting on it, how it turned out. I love this texture. I got it bound yesterday, and I did this morning all of the tie-offs. So when I have a thread break on my quilt, I pull the thread to the top, I start a new thread, and then I come back and I tie a square knot and bury the threads, especially for something like this, which will probably be in a washing machine several times. I want those threads to be secure. So this one is now fully finished, and it is going to be a gift, and I'm excited to gift it to the person who doesn't know it's coming to them.
Yeah.
So it will be in the mail soon. But that's the latest quilt, Urban Chained. And my first quilt finish for the year.
Good.
Very exciting.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Life updates. Before we get into life stuff, I wanted to mention a couple of Flosstubes that one started and one restarted. So our friend Holly, who we met through our retreat, she came to our retreat with her friend Tammy. And
Hi, Wonder Child.
and Holly started a Flosstube a couple of weeks ago. It's called Hobbies of Holly, and we will link her channel below. It was a great first episode. She shared a lot of all the things she does, and it was just really enjoyable to hear her voice, and kind of like it's fun to watch Flosstube. It's even more fun when it's someone that you've met in real life, and you feel like you're really catching up with a friend. So congratulations, Holly, on your Flosstube. I will also mention that she needs some prayers. So if any of you can keep her family in your prayers, she has a grandson who's quite ill that we just learned about this morning as we woke up. So we're all thinking of you, Holly, and hoping for the best.
You strong, positive thoughts.
Yes.
And I'm catching up on yours. I watched part of it.
And then the other one is the Flosstube Stitcher, who we heard about at our meetup in Zionsville. And now I can't remember her name. It might be Stephanie. I can't remember. She's in Australia. And rumor has it, she was the very first person to start filming Flosstubes.
That's right.
Like 9 years ago. Then stopped after a couple of years, had some life happen. A lot of life happened. A lot of changes in her life. And just came back to Flosstube. And so I caught her episode when she just came back to Flosstube, and I found it so enjoyable. She stitches a great variety of things, and so I will be watching more of her. So I wanted to share those 2 Flosstubes if you haven't seen them.
No.
All right, should we go into questions or other life updates? You got anything?
Well, we're going to market this week, and so my son is coming to stay with his father, which will be fun. And an experience for both of them.
It'll be fun for us.
And I'll love it because I'm getting away.
Yeah.
And I won't have to do any driving because Jennifer's going to drive. So we're looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. I've got a bit to do before we go, but you know, it'll all happen. I'll get it all done.
So we go as representatives of Persnickety Stitchers, which is our local shop where we also work. Mom works there every Friday. I work time to time. And we just had our meeting with the owner. We got our budget. We looked through what sold from last year, what didn't sell, got all the directions. So I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yep. I just have to go back and get the credit card and the signed checks.
Yes.
And the cash.
And the cash.
And then we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. So we're looking forward. It's our second year going to market.
Yes.
And I was talking to my husband yesterday, and my son has something next weekend that I'm going to miss, which is okay. And he said, well, do you want me to FaceTime you and you can watch it while it's happening? And I said, no, because I won't. Like I said, we're literally, there's 4 floors of rooms, and you're in and out every shop. And he was like, wait, what are you doing?
They have no clue.
Anyway, I think he thought I was going to stitch. I'm not sure he really, but then I described the whole process to him. I'm like, we are flat out at the end of the night.
Yep.
So anyway,
checking and everything.
Yeah.
Else.
On my side, life updates, I think, yes, since we saw you last, I went to San Diego for work. I was there one of the wettest weeks of the year. I'm very glad we weren't impacted by any flooding. I know there's been a lot of flooding out in California, and sorry if any of you have been dealing with after effects from that. It's
been bad.
Rough weather. I've been messaging with my aunt who lives in the Bay Area, and she's had a lot of water. Luckily, the house has stayed together, and she's on higher ground. And
the house above her has stayed above her.
Yeah.
Because she's got a house up here, and she's down here. Yeah. And I was like, oh, God, I hope they have
I didn't
good...
even think about that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as I know, they're still separated. They're not together, which would really be bad.
But my last day in San Diego was great. It was chilly, but pretty much clear. So... that evening I got to go on a little trolley tour and saw the city. It was really neat to see. I don't think I've been to San Diego since I was a kid. And we went to the zoo when I was little. And I hear their zoo is still great.
Their zoo is fantastic.
Yeah, so did a quick work trip. And then my son played yesterday in the state music competition. And his group got a gold, which was very exciting. Yeah. And I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, not much here, just doctor visits and physical therapy and working. And we got a new cash register at the store. Yeah. And for some people that wouldn't be exciting, but when you're as old as we are, it's exciting.
And when the cash register is as old as it was, it was the original register. When the
cash register we replaced was 27 years old.
Yeah.
So this new one is, it's all electronic and it's got all the bells and whistles and it's fun. And
you closed yesterday. And
I closed and it balanced. That was the best part. And Ben, you were wonderful yesterday putting up with me ringing up your squirrel. But I guess one other thing I want to mention before I go on is not this past 2 weeks ago today, I went to Amore, which is the Italian restaurant near us, and I stitched with a bunch of ladies, and they meet every other month. And there was somebody there from Cincinnati and somebody from Fort Wayne and somebody from up in the region and ladies from all over that they came in. And that was really fun. So we're going to meet again in April and I'm looking forward to seeing them and hopefully you can come then.
Hopefully I can come.
And, just if you come, bring lights.
Yeah.
But that was fun. So I want to say hi to all you guys. That was a fun time. It was nice to meet okay. Nice to meet you.
All right, shall we jump into questions
Sure.
now? We have lots of questions today, but we'll start with our question for you that we ask each time. And last time we asked about how you store your threads. Is your bag over there? Or is it in the closet?
Right there. Right there.
Oh, so we thought we'd start with how we store our threads.
And my box is right there.
I see it.
Yeah.
I think we showed this on a very early episode, but this is Mom's thread storage bag. Norwegian Cruise Lines. That was from 1990.
25 years ago, 30 years ago we went on a cruise.
Okay, 30 years ago we went on a cruise and she's filled the entire bag with floss.
And that's just DMC.
Just her DMC. She has her color card in here. She has extra skeins. And then the organized stuff is on bobbins. And
numerically.
Yes.
But then there's a few that aren't quite numerical.
And I basically store my thread the same way. I don't have the big bags like you have, but I have a small bag inside my big bag. And then
that's my sulky.
You can talk about that one.
Okay. This bag I made and all my sulky fits in there. So I have.
And that is a great bag pattern.
Yeah, it really is. See, and it holds tons of sulky. tons of Sulky, all these bags and everything.
Since you showed that,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna show. I actually have
There
mine
are two
too.
sizes.
There's 2 sizes of this bag. I think it's called the What You Got bag.
I don't know. I'd have to find it. And
We'll
look.
we'll see if we can look for the pattern. If
Yeah.
we can, we'll link it below.
But
or
it's
share
great.
it next time.
And it was one of these things like, I don't know where I'm going to put my Sulky. And for some reason, I looked at this and thought, wow, and it all fits. So that's exciting.
And she said, don't let her in the Sulky store at Market.
Oh, God,
So
no.
if you guys see her in the Sulky store at Market, she's busted. Okay, and then Fancy Floss, we both store the same way on the original cards on big rings in a bucket, a plastic tote. So I have 3 smaller totes, and I store each brand in its own tote.
Oh.
So I have like one for Weeks, one for Sampler, and one for Classic
Yeah.
Colorworks.
No, that's just
And I have the least of Classic Colorworks, so that has a couple of
right.
randoms.
That's growing.
So we are in good company. We kind of have 2 categories for this answer because it's how do you store your floss, and then how do you store everything. So we'll start with just the individual floss. By and large, bobbins were the winner. Well, I shouldn't say by and large. They were ahead by a little bit. 41 of you put some or all of your floss on bobbins. That's what we do. That's what, I mean, you taught me that. And
That's what I've done since the beginning.
that's what we've done since the beginning. And most people who said that said the same thing, that it's like, it's what they've always done. And they've just continued that way. 27, which was second, store them in floss bags. So
like the floss
very
away.
similar, you know, they have them on a ring or something like that.
You can write the number on the bag and then you store it in the bag.
And you can store multiple skeins. That's something that people commented. And it doesn't get like the kinks like it does from a bobbin. After that, coming up strong, floss drops. So I would say floss drops for me are newer.
Yeah, well, I haven't really used, I have several, but I haven't used them.
The cross stitch world. Like they weren't around when we were stitching 20 years ago.
They haven't been around that long. I'd say the last few years.
Yeah, that's
3
when
or
I've
4
known
years
about
at the
them.
most. Maybe somebody had nothing better to do during COVID and they
Maybe.
started making floss
Yeah.
drops. I don't know.
So 16 of you are actively using floss drops. Wait, 17, I counted wrong. 17 are using floss drops. And then behind that, we had 10 people who said the fancy floss was on the fancy floss tags, like I just showed you ours are. 7 people said all of the above or shared so many ways I couldn't even categorize it. 2 people said they store in big Ziploc bags, so more similar to your grouping. 2 people have the pip and chip system. So I went to look this
did
up.
you?
Yes, it is a bobbinating system. The bobbins all fit into boxes very specifically. They're pretty cool. So we can put, if you want to make a note, we'll put the Pip and Chip website down below. I've spent a little while looking around it. I think it's really interesting, but it's certainly an investment if you have as much floss as we have. Then one person said they store theirs in envelopes. One person said they store theirs on shower curtain rings, and then she joked and said, I'm cheap. And then one person, thank you very much, said they store their floss like a wild squirrel. I really appreciate that. And in honesty, we probably all have one stack of wild squirrel.
My DMC is more wild squirrel. I mean, I have a lot of rings that are in numerical sequence, but then I have those bags. They've been gifted to us, and, you know, some of them I have sorted by hundreds, you know, by, you know, 400s and 500s. Some of them are just in the bag.
Yeah.
And I have a couple where I have the rings and I've got them in numerical sequence, but never fails when I need a floss. It's not there, which is so aggravating. You saw the size of that bag. You think I should have 6 of every DMC they make? No, not even close.
A lot of people have full sets of DMC. We're probably honestly not that far away if we actually counted
Sat
it
down
out.
and looked at it.
Yeah. Okay, and then what do you put that storage system in is kind of the second part of the question. Boxes 1. Shoe boxes, bobbin boxes, plastic boxes. 41 of you store your floss in some kind of box. And we do that for our fancy floss.
Yeah.
But that was over and above the winner. 8 people said they stored in some type of drawer or cabinet. 4 people mentioned they have pegs in a closet so that it doesn't get disrupted by the light. And we got some pictures, so
yes, we have pictures
maybe while I'm showing this, I'll have pictures going behind me that people shared with us of different storage methods. 2 people said they store theirs in a basket, and then everything else was one-off. A towel rack hung on a wall, a belt rack. I think we got a picture of that one, and it like swivels out. It was very cool. Oh no, swivel towel rack. That was the swivel one. Someone said they wrap their silks in fabric so they don't get caught by anything.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Someone said they put them in a glass jar so they can look at them.
Oh, that's pretty. I don't have that much room.
You need some big glass jars.
You're not kidding.
Pegboard, a floss monster. I think this person's partner made this for them, and it's like a massive system that's in the corner of their room. Yeah. And then one person said in cup holders. So, and now I'm questioning, did I write that down wrong?
Well, the cup holders are like this.
Oh, yeah. Like a mug
ring.
tree or something. Yeah. That makes sense. So lots of options, lots of ways to store your threads. Our common threads are that we don't all store everything the same. There was a whole lot of I do with this for silks, and I do that for cottons, or I do this for DMC and that for fancy floss. Quite a few people are in the process of making the switch. So they're going from one storage method to another. A lot of people moving to floss drops from bobbins. Lots of boxes. A lot of you admitted how many boxes of thread you have. They weren't as high as the number of UFOs people have. But there were a lot of people with 8, 10, 12 boxes. And then a lot of people commented on photo boxes and that they're specifically a good size for the floss bags, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just the size of the photo boxes. And you know what? Like, none of us have photos printed anymore.
No.
So it's a great way to
I have
use
a bunch
those.
of boxes of photos.
Yeah.
So we want to thank Patricia, Kate, Michelle, Rayanne, Eileen, and Julie who sent us pictures, and we'll post them up here.
Yeah.
So we can share them with you.
You can see some of theirs. Yeah. So that was very fun. Thank you all for sharing. We always enjoy the responses to our questions.
Oh yes,
of the day.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And Kathy, 1896, wanted to know the fabric and the bell pull information for Christmas rules. Well, I didn't read the question before we started.
Well, the fabric is Picture This plus Jade Opalescent.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We had that in previous notes.
And then the pattern was Lizzie Kate Christmas Rules.
No, the bell pull.
Oh, the bell pull. That came from Witchelt, which is a distributor, and you can order it through your local store. If you don't have an LNS, you can contact Persnickety. I won't be there this Friday because I'll be at market. But if you want to call when I'm there, give a call on a Friday, and I can, walk you through it. But what I did is there are different sizes of bell pulls. They come in different widths. So I measured my stitching, my actual stitching. My piece was, wider. I measured my actual stitching and then added like a ½ inch on each side. And that's how I determined what width I wanted my bell pull to be.
Good. And while you're talking about what you did, Joanne asked if you put batting or interfacing inside.
Nope.
No interfacing.
I just put the fabric on the back and just sewed them together and turned it.
Okay.
And
good.
Yeah. No.
I usually put interfacing on my bell pulls when I make them.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But and the bottom bell pull, they're metal, so they're heavy, and it holds it tight, so I don't have to worry about it, creeping up or getting all funky.
User ZU5 blah 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 didn't have a name. Sometimes YouTube does this. Wanted to know the chart name for the piece with the 4 snowmen that you received as a gift.
I don't know. We can do a picture shot and see if the name comes up. We'll try and do that before, because that came as a gift, and it's lovely, but she did not give me names of any of the patterns. I just know the one because it's the one I've been working on for many, many years. And
it looks like a Cricut collection to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
we'll have to look.
We won't speculate. We'll try and get to the straight skinny.
Now, I don't know if you remember what you were wearing on the last episode. It was your white sweater, and Scotty Dog wanted to know if it was hand knit.
No. I made a sweater for my husband, and I made a matching sweater for my son. And my son's was big enough that he wore it from the time he was 2 until he was about 8.
And you made me a sweater.
And I made you a sweater. I made my sister a sweater. I've never made one for me. I have yarn to make myself a sweater in the closet. We'll see. And then, of course, there's my blue one that I've been working on.
Yeah.
Supposedly. And so you never know. I might surprise myself.
One of these days.
That one I bought from Christopher and Bags.
All right. Moose Mom 2010 wanted to know, how tall are we?
I'm 6 feet tall.
And I'm 5'10" ¾ I usually say 5'11". My son now is 6'2" ¾ and he said, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm 6'3". So I'm 5'11".
And my son is 6'6".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're all tall.
And Dad was about 6'1" at his tallest.
Many years ago.
But
he's down to about 5'9" now, or 5'8".
He's done a lot to his back over the years, including
600 parachute jumps probably helped to compress his spine just a little bit. Those openings are killers.
So he's the shortest in the family now.
Yeah.
But originally I was the shortest in the family.
Now Jenna is.
Yes, we love you. Cheryl said she's stitching Christmas rules on the same fabric. That's how I knew, because she said I'm stitching it on a jade too.
Okay, thank you.
And her blue isn't showing up well. She's using the DMC. She wanted to know, did you switch any of the colors, and did you use DMC or Fancy Floss?
I use Fancy Floss, and I didn't change any colors.
Okay, so you might just play around and try and find one that's a little bit darker or lighter or whatever you need to make it show
pull
better.
out my color card. This is available from DMC, but a lot of the local needlework shops have it. But if you open it up, and you do it the right way, it has all the threads, and it has the actual thread. It's not, came out with one that was a printed one with the colors, but this is actual pieces of the floss. And so this is a good way to look at your colors if you want to try and find something and find
that'll work better.
That'll work better.
Yeah.
So that might be one way to go too.
Yeah. And we'll just hold that up in case somebody wants to take a screenshot.
And I use mine a lot.
Yeah.
We have one in the store and we use it all the time. Yeah. Especially if somebody's looking for a bunch of colors. It's much easier to do that than pull out every blue skein of DMC, because then you have to put it all back. And this is much faster. So try that. But yeah, I used all fancy floss on mine, the overdyes.
Okay. I'm going to ask the next question and then come back, because while you're answering, I'm going to grab the answer to that one. Judy wants to know, when we stitch with our frames, do we use a lap or a floor stand? So you can answer. I'll be right back.
I have a where is it? It's right down there by your...
Yeah.
I have a lap stand that my friend's husband made for... Jennifer bought one, and my friend's husband made for us. For me, and I use that periodically, but most of the time I just hold the frame.
Yeah, and I use the same one. It's the Hope, Bonnie Hope is the lady's name, and her husband used to make them. I don't know if he does anymore. And I bought that, and it's a lap stand, so I just set my frame on top of it. I liked it because it doesn't clamp at all, and I flip all the time to tie off threads or start or whatever, so I wanted one that was easy to flip.
And it's very adjustable. Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is that, like, it doesn't work with Q-snaps. I would like to find something that would work with Q-snaps that's very flippable like that, so I need to keep an eye out for that.
Okay. All right. Karen wanted to know the pattern for my hat. It came from the book 60 Quick Knits, and I believe that's by Cascade. And then the pattern is the slip stitched hat, and that's it. So it's number 49.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's very small.
Okay, yeah. So it's the slip stitched hat. So that's it. and it goes very quickly. Oh, I didn't bring my blue one up again.
Yeah.
I made I made the 2 for Jenna and Jennifer, and then I ordered my blue yarn, and it came, and I made it, and
I think you showed it. You either showed it in progress last time or it was finished. I can't remember.
I don't know. Okay.
I think it was finished.
Okay.
Last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you wore it on the snowy day. And then Bonnie wanted to know, have we always gotten along like this? And she said, unfortunately, her daughter doesn't spend a lot of time with her.
We have. I think we have.
I think we have.
Even as a
teenager,
we didn't have some of these horrendous fights and disagreements and everything else, mainly because I didn't allow it.
Right.
But I think I've been fair.
Yeah.
And I haven't been terribly restrictive. Mm-hmm. I have expectations, which they know. And still. As do the Jack and Jenna.
Yep.
They all know.
Yep.
They all know.
Yeah.
The boys in Maryland have a little harder time with them because they don't see me as often, and they don't always realize that's an expectation until I set them straight. Mm-hmm. But no, we enjoy our hobbies together, and we have fun. We travel well together, and
I think we know not every mother and daughter has this close of a relationship, and how lucky we are that we get along and we enjoy spending time and we have shared hobbies.
Yep.
I think that's been a lot of it. I mean, there were years that we didn't live in the same state, that we lived far away from each other, but we've always talked on the phone. We've always visited, gone on road trips.
Yep. And before we moved up here, there was no FaceTime, so we only did phone talking.
Yeah.
Only did phone talking.
So, yes, we kind of have always gotten along like this. I remember a few moments, but, other than that, we've gotten along like this. You probably remember a few moments, too.
We live very close. We're only, 4 miles? 7 miles apart? 4 miles. 4 miles apart.
4 miles. Mm-hmm.
But we do have separate lives. I mean, I'm not down at her house every day. She's not up here. We often don't talk for 2 or 3 days or 4 days. Sometimes it depends. She's busy with work and the kids and everything else, and I'm just busy with general crap. And so, I told her when I moved up here, I said, I will respect you. I will never come to your house unannounced. I will never just walk in, and I certainly won't come in and clean your house or rearrange your kitchen, because I don't do that in my house. So that part's worked out very well. She tends to come in here and rearrange my sewing room a lot. Mm-hmm. But I've never said anything about her. It
usually starts with, does this still need to be here?
So we do well together, and we enjoy each other's company, and we have a good time.
We do.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't bring any previous finishes. Did you?
No, I didn't think about it.
All right. Well, then let's jump into whips and new starts. So I think at the end of the last episode when we talked about plans, I said, I want to finish this and I want to finish that. And I'm going to focus on some finishes. And I lied, because with the exception of one thing, I've had startitis since I saw you last. I've started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half new things. But first I'm going to show you the one thing that I did. No, 2 things I worked on. One is a finish now, so you'll see that in a little bit.
That one.
No, this is the only whip that I worked on that's not yet done. This is Holiday Wishes, and I'm working on the Santa. I took him to the stitching group in the library, and where's our, I don't know where our board is.
Oh, I don't know what you did with it. It's hiding.
And that's where it is. I brought the border all the way around. I finished the border, and I can't remember if I finished. Yeah, I finished the green as well. So now I have a whole lot of white to stitch in the middle. His whole beard, his mustache, the rest of his hat. So I'll get to that. But this is a good project for me to take to like a stitching group or something like that, because it's pretty easy to stitch on and I can see it really well. So that's the only really whip thing I have. This kind of counts. You want me to keep going?
Sure, I'm taking this apart.
Okay. So the next one was kind of a new start, but kind of a continuation. So I am stitching the Lizzie Kate green flippets with Allison from Mrs. Arizona Family Zoo, and she and I are doing this as the Lizzie Kate series Sal. She and her mom are both stitching this pattern as well. It is a 6-part pattern with a border, and I started the second part of it. So it's kind of a start, but a continuation. And I got that far. I stitched on that, I think, one night. It goes really fast, or one afternoon. And I am stitching this on 32 count Lakeside Linen Meadow Rue with all of the called for fancy flosses, and just really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to getting back to this one. Although, you know what, I told you that last time and then I didn't touch stuff, but yeah.
I also am working on the Lizzie Kate Sal, and I'm doing Halloween rules. I finished the top section, which is just a printed chart that Lizzie Kate has available. But I finished the first one, and then I'm not finished, but I've made good progress on the second one. So here it is. Might need a background for it.
Yeah.
Where's our thing? I don't know.
Let's hide
So here it is, and I'm having fun with it. It goes, you know, it's so quick. I finished the first segment, this part, really quickly. And someone asked me if this was a dog, and I said, I think so, but he hasn't barked yet, so I'm not positive. But
Which one?
this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a dog, but he hasn't barked, so I can't tell for sure. But yeah, so now I'm on to Eat Candy, and that was fun, especially when I found out that I was one stitch off.
I was going to say, last time you had spent the whole day ripping out stitches when we filmed.
Yeah.
You had stitched the wrong color or something.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I did.
You're back
that
on
was
track.
up here. Yeah, because the grass is green, and the symbol for it is very close to the dark symbol, and I wasn't paying attention, and I used the wrong symbol. So I had to take it all out and redo the green, but it really didn't take that long, especially when you do it with some wine. It was fine.
All right, and then Helen from East Coast Crafter had this great idea that, and actually, Helen, I think you said in your Flosstube before that you were going to work on stuff too, and then you started a new Sal. So I'm just going to blame it all on you, if that's okay. If you're not happy with that, you can punch me at market. So you better have your camera out in case she decides to take me up on that. So Helen had this idea that before market, we should actually all pull out and stitch something that we bought at the last market
that we haven't touched.
And maybe I had started this last time, I can't remember, but I picked Mad for Plaid by Hands On Design, and this is 4 pieces, and I thought, given the time of year, I would start with spring. And so I am stitching mine on either 28 or 32 count charcoal Lugana, which I love, and I got the center of it done. And this is going to be a pretty quick stitch. This was stitching one morning. This was stitching a little bit on Friday during lunch and after in the evening. So that is Mad for Plaid. Another one I started. And part of the hashtag for this is Make Way for Market Sal. So if you have anything from the last market that you haven't started stitching,
now's the time.
Now's the time. And that is 32 count Lugana.
Okay.
Sorry. And I'm using Cosmo threads. That was the interesting thing. So I got this thread pack at Acorns and Threads when I went there last summer, and they had the Cosmo threads in a pack, and I would not have probably bought the Cosmo threads but on their own, but I thought, oh, that would be fun to try. Yeah. I love them.
Really? I
don't know what it is about them.
They feel nice.
They feel softer than DMC.
They do.
The colors
Just what we need is
great.
more thread.
And I decided, since these were a brand new brand for me, I put them on floss drops. So I think these came from Karen or somebody at our retreat. They were left at our table one day, and it looks like they're made kind of out of greeting cards. And so I put them on, and I put that they're Cosmo and the number, and it's working out pretty well. So I am enjoying my first foray into Cosmo thread. Don't let me go too far down that rabbit hole.
We need more threads.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really pleased with myself that I finished the top and the first segment of the Lizzie Kate Sal, so it was time to start another project. So I had this, which I got at the last retreat. Beth had a bunch of kitted things that she had been given by someone whose friend whose spouse had passed. And she said, I don't want any money for them. I just want them gone. Well, that wasn't good. That's when we were counting to 5, if you remember that episode. But anyway, this is...
And if you didn't, look back, and it's called How Do You Count to 5?
Yeah. So this is the Little House Needlework ABCs. I've done all 4 seasons. I have, spring, summer, winter, and fall. But I love their stuff. And so...
That looks good. And it came with the fabric?
And it came with the fabric and the floss.
Wow.
Along with the pattern. So I can't tell you the fabric because they didn't say, but it calls for 32 count Confederate gray linen from Weeks Dye Works, and this might be it.
That's a Weeks linen.
Yeah, it's a Weeks, so it might be it. Yeah. But anyway, there's where I am, and I love to do letters and words and everything, so I whip those letters out in no time. And so far, knock wood. Where's some wood? Knock wood.
Table's
I haven't had to tear anything out. I'm really pleased, but this was fun. This is just a couple of nights.
And is it DMC or is it
no?
The fancy
it's
it's a fancy
downstairs.
floss.
It's not Weeks. It's General Arts.
Oh, okay.
It's on the back there.
Yeah.
I think
Classic Colorworks.
Classic Colorworks, yeah, and they were all in there, and 2 DMC, which I need to check and see if I have.
It's only like 5
colors. Yeah.
Colors.
Yeah, it's not many. Well,
wow,
7.
7 altogether.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm really enjoying that, and I love to do these, and they go so quickly. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it came with everything. I mean, how could you pass that up? So.
All right, and then next up, Valentine's Day came. Wasn't exciting. That wasn't in our life updates, but
no.
Middle of the week, whatever. We had crab cakes. They were really good. So
we had leftovers.
Back when
and a lot of wine.
The princess, my daughter, was home over the summer break.
What's summer break? Winter break.
Winter break.
It's February. Do you know that?
Well, it looks like it's anyway. Much warmer out right now. She found this pattern on Etsy and said, oh, I really like this. So I said, I'll stitch it for you. So Space Cat Cross Stitch Patterns is the name. I think it was on Etsy. It might have been on Gumroad. As you can see, my printer had a brain fart, but it's Harry Styles. And she has been a fan of One Direction since the beginning, really likes Harry and Niall. And so she said, would you stitch this for me? And I said, yeah, I'll stitch it for you. So I started it on Valentine's Day and then worked on it again the other night. This is
pink fabric.
Yes, and I think it's very fun. So this is Vintage Poinsettia. It's a 28 count Lugana from Forbidden Fiber Company. And I got this at Market last year. And I have never used Forbidden Fiber Company before, and I love it. It's a great fabric. It's very soft. It's Lugana. You can see the holes very well. It doesn't feel like it's shrunk at all. And we have Harry's face and body in. Now, some of you may remember that I was doing a Wednesday stitch when I watched Chicago Fire, and it was my green forest. I got mad at it a couple weeks ago because I have to take out a fair chunk of it. And then I was traveling the next week, so I didn't stitch on it. And then the next week was Valentine's Day, so I started on this. So on Wednesday night, I was talking to my daughter, and I said, it's Wednesday, which means I should be stitching on my forest. I said, but I could also work on Harry. And she said, oh yeah, work on Harry. So he may be the Wednesday stitch for a little while. So this is...
That's a lot of white pants.
It's a lot of white pants. Oh my gosh. Not many colors. It's DMC. There's some pinks, some grays, and
a lot of white.
I don't even have the white in here, darn it. 2 skeins of white thread are needed. So yeah. So that's Harry Styles. That was the next start.
Okay, and then I decided that I only had these 2 projects that I'm really working on right now, and I knew we were going to film today, so last night I thought, okay, you need to do something so you have something to show. And, you know, I've told you I have quite a few Mill Hill kits, quite a few. So I went through last night and I pulled out this one, and it's called, what's it called? Charmed Stocking Ornaments. It's only one. I don't know why it's a plural. But anyway, so I worked on it last night, and where's our, we don't have our paper.
We don't
thing.
have our paper. I don't know where it went.
This is what I got done. Well, that's what I got done. It's the stocking. And it's basically, all I have to do is finish the green, and then there's a red toe, and then everything else is beading. So it's going to go fast, and I may even finish it before we film again. You never know. Shocking. But last night I just sat here and I was going to...
That'd be an easy one to take to market.
Yeah. I was going to make the bed for when Eric came, and I was going to clean up in here a little bit, and instead I stitched on this.
Sounds good to me.
So that was my new start.
Nice.
Yeah.
My next, well, we're out of order now, but I showed this a while back, Summertime Berries by Erica Michaels. I am stitching these 2 berries for the shop as shop samples. So this one is called Summertime, and this one is called S'more Summer, Please. And you'll see one of them in finishes. But this is on 32 count Weeks Dye Works linen in the colorway Sky. And I started the little camper one the other day, and it went really fast. This is just one night of stitching, and then I think I put in a few stitches over lunch the next day. I didn't have all the thread colors I needed, so I kind of got stopped, but I picked them up this afternoon when we had our market meeting, and I will continue on that, and I expect this to be a finish real quick. And then I can finish both of the berries together. Do you have any other whips?
No.
Okay, well then I'll go straight into finishes because I finished the other berry.
Show off.
This was so fast. So if you have this pattern, I'm just gonna hold it up against my bag. Seriously, it was like a day and a few stitches the next day. So it is very light on this. This is 36 count antique white linen, and there is the berry. There's a little tiny bit of over 1 stitching at the top, which I did with the help of my magnifier, but this was such a fun quick stitch, and I used Classic Colorworks Blueberry Tart. In hindsight, I would have picked something a shade darker.
Yeah, I would use something a little darker.
I hope that once I put interfacing behind it to make the berry, it'll show up a little bit better. It's really light on there, but it's kind of delicate and so pretty. So
I love it.
Yeah, so I stitched that, finished it in a day, and then was like, oh, I gotta start on the other one. I'm excited to do these and finish them for shop models. Yeah.
So I have a finish. Remember, we talked about Helen telling us to start something from market. And so after we filmed the last time, someone was here and went through all my patterns and pulled out and said, you bought this and you got that and you got this and you got that.
I don't know what I bought that I haven't stitched yet. And so we went back to the video that we had filmed right after market, and I just started listing them off.
She nailed me.
It's the pros and cons of having a Flosstube, right?
So this is Shepherd's Bush, red, white, and blue. And it came as a kit, so it had everything in it, including the thread and the star. And guess what? It's done.
It's upside down.
And it's upside down. Sorry. Well, you could just flip your camera.
You and Terry both. Terry did that in their last episode.
Okay, that's Cornhusker State Stitchers. Hi, Terry. It's nice to know that the mothers don't know what they're doing. And that's crooked now, thanks. But anyway, yeah, we'll see you next week and we discuss our children. But anyway, it's done, and I know what I'm going to do with it.
Yay.
I'm not going to tell you.
You mean how you're going to finish it?
Yep.
And none of us get to know anything?
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
It's really pretty.
Or where it's going.
I haven't seen. Is it pearl cottons? Was it Pearl Cottons?
Could be.
Oh, because it came in a kit, so you...
Yeah, it's Shepherd's Bush. Yeah, it's Pearl Cotton.
It looks Pearl Cotton.
I think it's Pearl Cotton.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hold it up again since we talked about it again. Yeah, I think that's Pearl Cotton. It's not a big count, like a 10 count or something.
It is. It's a...
What does it say?
Let me see.
At least you get to look at pretty stitching while you're reading. And the button was in the kit.
10 count Tula canvas.
Oh.
And it's DMC in weeks.
Oh.
It is not.
Okay.
It's not pearl, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And it came with the star button. And it was fun to do.
Yeah.
It was quick.
It looks quick and it looks really nice.
Yes, I really enjoyed it.
And I just saw, never mind, wrong designer. I was going to say I saw their market charts, but I haven't seen what Shepherd's Bush is bringing to market.
I haven't watched that closely. I'm trying not to watch.
All right, my next one was a start and finish since we saw you last. And I'm stitching lots of Christmas ornaments this year. And remember, we're not saying what's for whom. Because one of them may be for somebody sitting next to me. So this is the 2015 Christmas Ornaments issue, and I decided to stitch the ink circles pattern from this issue, which is called Truly Endless Knot 2, and it looks like this in the magazine. And I thought about the person I was going to give this to and thought, these are not the right colors for that person.
Let me see it. I don't like the colors.
Yeah. So I pulled out my Sulky. This is my Crafty Gemini pack from Sulky. And then while I was digging around, I found this purple sparkly Krynic. And I thought, well, that would be fun for the lights. And so I stitched this little buddy on the airplane on the way to and from San Diego. And it's done. It is stitched on 16 count light blue Aida. I think it's 16 count. With the one strand of the Sulky threads and one strand of the Krynic. And it is Krynic number, I can't read that. I don't have my glasses on.
It's the very fine braid number 4. So you did this along with the purple?
No, I just did it by itself. The Krynic? Yeah.
Oh God, that's the bane of my existence.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Really?
This one was not bad.
One thread?
One strand, I think. You can double check it. But
wow.
Anyway, so it looks rather different than
it's much better. Much better.
The one that was in the magazine. But it was a really quick stitch also. The most fun part of this is I got on my flight from Chicago to Indianapolis, which is like you get up in the air, you're there for 5 minutes, and you're starting to descend already. It's a super fast flight. They don't even serve drinks. And so I whipped out my stitching because I was like, I had worked on the other flight and I'm like, it's not long enough to work even to pull out. By the time they say you can pull out your computer, you have like 15 minutes before they say you have to put it away. So I was like, I'm just going to stitch. And I pulled out my stitching, and the young girl sitting next to me, she's in college. She was like, I love embroidering things. And she started showing me pictures on her phone of what she'd made at Christmas. And she was very curious to learn about cross stitch. And it was just very fun. It's neat to sit on a plane and talk to someone about stitching. The other one...
Tell them about the guys.
One time I was in a middle seat between two guys, and I pulled up my stitching, and they were both like... And they looked and looked and looked. Neither one said anything until the very end of the flight. But it was kind of funny.
Tell him what he said.
I don't remember.
Didn't he say my mother-in-law knits?
Yes, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, my mother-in-law knits.
It was like, okay, buddy. So, okay. I did have one finish. In the middle of all my crazy starting, I was like, I've got to finish something. So, you'll be happy to hear that the Scarlet House Autumn Alphabet is a finish, and I am so happy with how it turned out. This is on 32 count Lakeside linen, Autumn Gold,
That you
which
love.
is my favorite fabric ever. And if I see this again, I'm getting a big cut of it. I don't know what else I'd stitch on it. And there is my finish.
Oh, that looks great.
I am so happy with it. I am not sure if I'm going to finish it on a paddle like they did or how I'm going to do it. I haven't decided yet.
And you used fancy floss on that.
Yes.
What did you use?
So I picked my own colors. Do you want to hold it up?
Yeah.
And I'll pull the colors because this was stitched on a very light fabric. When I pulled these colors, some of them didn't work for me. So
Their colors.
Yes. So Ginger Snap, which is the cream, I did use. That's from the pattern. Caterpillar, which is the letters, I used. Of course, that was going to show up on anything. And I love this color, this brown. It's a nice, really rich brown. For the green, they called for Polywog Classic Colorworks. It did not look good on mine. I went with Chives by Sampler Threads. So that's my green. And then their orange was Nutmeg from the Gentle Art, which also did not look good on mine. So I went with Clockwork from Weeks Dye Works.
And you stitched your pumpkin up and down rather than across.
Yes, I stitched my pumpkin single stitches up and down. I tried the sewing method. Probably not for me. Long term. You know, I don't know. I'll do it again, I'm sure, on something. It was good to try. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I kind of learned it. I might use it on something like a mill hill or something like that where I just feel like I can't keep it straight, the weave of the fabric straight doing that. So anyway, I have a finish.
Because you don't do the sewing method, you do it in hand. You don't
do it in hand.
You don't do it on a frame or on a Q-snap or anything, and that's what we're used to working with. So it's very different. And I know even like with the red, white, and blue, that was big and everything, but I'm afraid that if I didn't have it in some kind of firm, a hoop or a frame, that it would be so wonky because it's a very loose weave. But even tight weaves are.
Any other finishes?
No.
Okay.
No.
I have 2 FFOs to share.
Oh, that does have a border around the outside. That's adorable.
Okay. The first one is the Canoeing Santa, and I thought I had the pattern in my bag, but I don't know where it is. I stitched him last year, and I finished him last weekend, the weekend before. Carol on Instagram, Caroling55, she's the master of ornaments. I mean, she stitches beautiful ornaments, she finishes them beautifully, and she cranks through them.
Yeah, she's got tons.
And she did a finish like this where it was the cording and kind of attached to the pillow. Now mine kind of looks like it has wild pigtails. Hers always lean down really nice. But hey, this is my first one. I'm sure she had wild pigtails at one point in her life too.
Here's a curling iron.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the way I sewed it on.
Oh, okay.
I didn't angle it down. But anyway, so when I was stitching this, she shared a finish like this, and I thought, oh, that would be perfect for that little Canoeing Santa. So I made him into a little pillow, and I did use interfacing on the back of the Santa. I pretty much use interfacing on the back anytime I'm going to sew, because I think it just gives it better stability. Yeah. I had this fabric left over from another finish I had done last year, and
oh, that's pretty Christmassy.
It's just a nice Christmassy green. I'm just realizing I don't have the date on this. I'll have to just put a charm on it. Yeah. And then I used 3 strands of DMC 937, and I made the cording. My husband was sitting down, and I was like, here, hold this. And I gave him the end to hold while I made the cording. And he thinks it's really cool when you drop it and you're going to twist and twist and twist. And then I didn't have enough cording, so I was like, wait, don't go upstairs. Come back. I need you to make more cording with me. Usually my daughter was always my cording buddy when she was home.
We were going to do that at Christmas. We were going to have a cording day, and we never did. That time went so quickly. Sometime. She was home for 4 or 5 weeks, and we still didn't get to it.
So that's my fourth FFO for the year. I stitched the piece and finished it in 2023. It is on a mystery linen that was just a scrap I had. And I stitched it with DMC threads. I think the called for colors, there might be one substitution in there. I just picked something close to what I had. And it was finished on February 18th.
And she was a canoe instructor at Girl Scout camp.
Yes.
So that really means it's a memento.
Extra special.
Yeah.
Yes. So very happy to have that one done. And then my second FFO is a shop model for Persnickety. And this is Landscape, Works by ABC. And there were 3 in this series that she had at market last year. And I've just seen there's another one coming this year. That's the cherry blossoms, like the pink bloom cherry blossoms in the spring. And I stitched this as a shop model on 32 count smoky white linen with the called for sampler thread colors. It's just 4 colors. If you've watched us for a while, you saw me stitch this last year. I really enjoyed it in the beginning, and then it got a little bit tedious at the end. This frame came from Fancy Works when that store closed on a super low price, and it was brown. And we painted the frame and painted it because the brown kept showing through. And I finally finished painting it last weekend, and then the other night I fit the piece into it. So the stitched piece is on a piece of foam core with batting on the front. I decided to lace this one. I'm kind of enjoying lacing for this size piece. It gives you actually a little more flexibility to like move it if it's not perfectly straight. I got it all nice and straight and put it in the frame, and the frame's not perfectly straight. So on the bottom, it's just a little bit off. I took it off and I messed with it a little bit, but then it looks bad up here. So it can't be perfect. And then I just took a piece of scrapbook paper on the back. I put all my details. I'm not going to share my full name. There we go. All my details on the back. And this will go into the shop and will sit on one of the counters as a shop model. And hopefully it will sell well. I think it's an absolutely beautiful,
it's really pretty.
Beautiful pattern. And let's go ahead and we can tag Arlene, Works by ABC. She has a Flosstube channel as well. But I really, really love how this turned out. And I will look forward to the day. So the way our shop works is if you stitch a model, the owner gives you the fabric and the threads to stitch it, and then once it no longer sells, you get the piece back. So I hope it sells a lot, and I hope it sells for a long time, and then I can't wait to have it back when I get it back finally. So that was FFO number 5, and I finished that one on Friday. I finished the stitching in September of 2023. So those were 2 that really didn't sit in my unfinished pile for very long at all, which is great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And those constituted my Whip Go projects for February.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the February calls for Whip Go for me were FFO with a plan, which means I know how I want to finish it. So that's the landscape piece. And then number 24, which was an ornament FFO. So that's the canoeing Santa.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And I'll just take a moment. I know if you've been watching us for a while, you're probably tired of hearing about the FFO challenge, but it's still going strong. So Michelle from Penny's Daughter Shares and I are continuing on in 2024 with FFO Challenge 2024 on Instagram. Please join us. Please watch. Great inspiration. Lots of great finishes coming across. And some people who are like cranking it out this year. There's a few people who are already up to like 30 finishes.
I have 3.
Yeah. Hey, 3 is
2
great.
or 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting there slowly.
While I'm here, I'll mention for Whip Go, the numbers for March were just pulled today, and they are numbers 1 and 10. And so for me, number 1 is an embroidery piece. And number 10 is to work on a quilt or a bag kit, like something I have kitted up. So I don't know what I'll be working on, but I'm looking forward to it. And so far I have, this is my Whip Go board. I have finished all 4 of my Whip Goes that have been called so far this year.
Aren't you special?
So I'm starting off the year well. Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Okay.
Ready for some haul?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been really good, sort of.
I've been so good, I don't think I have any.
Okay, I'm in the Color and Cotton Thread Club, and I was doing the brights last year, but I switched over to all colors. So this year I have, let's see, here's a white thing. This is Green Heron, Old Brick, and Persimmon. Let me put them together like this so you can see them. So those are the colors that came this month. Yeah, that'd be neat.
This is, which one's Persimmon? Okay, this is Persimmon, Green Heron, and Old Brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Old Brick is the darker one.
Yeah. So that's that. And then she finished the Halloween, what's it called? The fence.
Spooky Row.
Spooky Row.
Yes.
And so I plan to stitch it. So we both got the button pack for it. And so that came in the store. So we got that.
I haven't picked mine up. That's the only reason I don't have it.
Yeah,
show.
she doesn't have it. And then
Oh, she was so busted, you guys.
you know, there's something called Stash Unload, which I'm sure many of you know about. And every time I look at stuff, I think, oh, darn, that would have been neat. And one day, I don't know why, the karma was right,
worked,
everything worked. But anyway, this came up, this pattern. And the best part.
So it's Waxing Moon Designs Christmas Snow.
And she had the pattern, but she also had the frame. The frame.
So cute.
So I bought it.
So you said me please and put your information. And as I was scrolling through Facebook in San Diego, I saw this and I saw it and I was like, that's really cute. Mom would like that. And then I looked at it and said, me please.
Mom.
Yes. Yes. And I just laughed.
I also got a text about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw what you bought.
And then the other thing, which, well, you don't need to see it, but I have carpet in my sewing room, and carpet upstairs. The whole house is carpeted, basically. And I had a kind of an inky vacuum that I bought. It was an inexpensive one, but it didn't really work well and everything. And so I went to Kohl's the other day, and they were having their doorbuster sale, and so I got a new vacuum. And it's a skinny one, and it's got a little motor like this, and it collects, and then you just dump it. It doesn't have a bag or anything. And it works pretty well. I'm really pleased with it. I put it together all by myself. It was only 3 parts. And it just snapped together.
Nice.
So I got that. And then we went to Joann's. Was it last weekend?
Oh, I forgot about that. I did spend some money.
Yeah, you did. We went to Joann's, and they were having all their art lights on sale, 50 off. And I have a floor lamp next to the couch, which has been driving me crazy because some little piece fell off, but we can't figure out where it's from. And it holds the light bulb in place. So as a result, as I'm stitching, the white bulb will kind of wiggle around, and the next thing I know, there's no light. And I've had it. I think I brought it up here.
I think so.
I think I had it in Houston.
You
so
probably
it's
had it 20 plus
yeah, it's at least 20 years old.
Yeah.
And so they had them 50 off, and I got a new one. And holy crow, did that change my life? In addition to being stable and not turning off by itself, it's so much brighter. It's so good. I love it. So those are my two.
And you just use an over the shoulder.
Yeah, I use an over the shoulder. I don't have a magnifier or anything.
And just comes
and
over.
so yeah, so I'm really ecstatic to have a new vacuum and a new light. You know.
And I bought 5 yards of batting. I did not bring that to show you. I take the batting rolls. So one time we were there and the salesperson said, "Oh, we have cores from the upholstery fabric section. Would you like me to roll the batting on that?" And I was like, sure. It's the greatest thing.
So much better than folding it up and cramming it in a bag.
Yeah, so
much better.
I took my core in with me. We rolled it up 5 yards, so that will do me for several more quilts. So always good to get that when it's on sale.
And I guess before that, maybe a week before, I also bought 5 yards, which Pam has at her house because she just takes them and that way we don't have to, I don't have to cut it.
Yeah.
But I do have a quilt there for her to quilt, so hopefully the next time it'll be my quilt of the day.
Yeah.
That'll be neat. What's next?
Okay, next is knitting, quilting, crochet, embroidery.
Okay.
Oh, Happy Mail. Sorry, Happy Mail.
Yeah.
We did get Happy Mail.
We did. And this came from Rachel in Pennsylvania. And I used to hang out in that area because that's where my husband used to jump at the ABE airport. Long time ago, probably before you were born. But anyway, I'm hoping this is everything. Some things got a little mixed up this week, and I'm hoping this is it. But she sent us this beautiful piece of 28 count raw opal linen, and we're going to have a little discussion over who gets it.
Or we cut it in half.
We'll share
What
it.
size
We'll share
is
it.
It looks like a fat quarter. 18 by 26. Yep.
Oh yeah.
32 count. Oh,
Okay.
that's funny. It says 32 count on there.
It says 28 count on the thing. Okay,
Oh, well,
but it's really
we'll
pretty.
figure it out.
And then she sent us some collagen gloves, so that's going to
Those
be
are
fun.
cool.
We'll probably each take one.
Should we take them to market and do them at night?
Oh yeah,
Put 'em
okay,
on
we
our
can do
hands?
that. Yeah. And then also, this was in the package. I hope this is all right. Like I said, I kind of screwed things up, but this is the cutest little bag.
Oh,
Look at that guy. Isn't he
So
cute?
cute.
Yeah. So they're the same on both sides, but that's adorable. And then I think Rachel's also the one who sent us gold 2024
nice.
charms.
Oh, I'll take one right out of there to put on my canoeing Santa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see,
Thank
nothing is sacred around here.
Yeah.
It's okay. But thank you very much, Rachel. That was so kind of you. And we will put it all to good use. We thank you very, very much.
Yes.
And then you want to go next?
Yeah,
you have
so
any
I
haul?
have, no.
Except
my
your
only
5 yards
haul
of
was
batting.
my 5 yards of batting.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
We didn't go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, did we?
No.
I don't think
We tried to go to Joann's the day it was really cold, but their heater broke.
Yeah, and
So the store was closed.
It was like 12.
Yeah.
And we went down there.
Yeah.
I said, something's wrong. There's nobody in the
There's nobody
parking
in the
lot.
parking lot.
She said, well, it's really cold and people don't want to get out. And we pulled up and there was a sign on the door. She said, let me just check before we both get out.
Yeah.
So she ran up there and it said, our heater's broken. We're closed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's all I bought. I'm ready for market. There's a few things that I'm looking forward to. And I just am looking forward to seeing a lot of the models.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, I did a little bit of crocheting. Those of you who are avid crocheters will laugh if you remember what my progress was last time. But this is the Calm Cow by Indigo Dot. And I had just started it last time. And so this time, I had just done a couple of rows here last time. And now I've added that second kind of lace work, I don't know, opening section. And then all the rest of it is single crochets offset one row. So you do a single crochet and then
you skip or jump or something.
Yeah, and then the next row you stitch in between the single crochets. So
that would be a good thing to take to market because you don't have to have a pattern.
Yeah, so it's coming along well, and you know, someday it'll be a really pretty cowl when I get it all done. So yeah, I'm not a fast crocheter, and I usually do like in this, I've been doing 2 rounds and then I'm done, and I'm ready to go do something else. Yeah, so I admire people who can sit and stitch and stitch and stitch on crochet or knitting. I can do it with cross stitch, but with crochet I can't do it that long. So
I also am working on a cowl which I had started. I went on a yarn crawl with Hannah probably 4 or 5 years ago. Remember that, Hannah? It was so much fun. We saw the old houses over in Greenfield and we just had a great time. And I bought all this yarn that I thought I was going to make up right away. Well, I did make some of the socks, but I got it out to work on it, and I think I screwed it up. So I have part of it done, but I'm not going to show you because I spent most of my time unknitting. I was just taking it out because I've decided I'm going to go. I'm only like 6 or 8 rows into the pattern, and I decided I'm going to take it out because it didn't end up the way it was supposed to on the row I worked on. I had 2 extra stitches, and it's not supposed to. So I'm unknitting, and I'm going to work on it. But it's pretty. Okay. It's going to be nice.
Nice.
And then I did some sewing. And if you're,
that's my sewing right there.
Yeah. And Jenna, if you're watching, please turn away.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Okay, I made pillowcases for Jenna and her friend. So this one is coffee.
That's really cute.
And this one is sushi.
Pink sushi.
Pink sushi.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, I love it.
So yeah. So they will go off in the mail this week. It's kind of, I was going to make them Valentine pillowcases, but then these are pink, so it kind of qualifies. So yeah, I got them done. And, I did some project bags. Did we show Nina's last time? The orange, the green one?
No. Is it still here?
No,
Okay.
I gave it away.
Okay.
Okay,
Did
we
you
may
take
have,
pictures?
hopefully I have a picture of it.
You made runaround
Hopefully.
bag. I
Yeah.
think we did show it.
I think we did.
I think we showed the Barbie one, but maybe not the other one. It wasn't done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see.
Okay.
It would be here's the picture of the three of them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
so
you
we'll
can
just
show
hold
that.
it up. Whoops.
No, it's not going to cooperate. There we go.
There are the 3 runaround bags. Yeah, I think you had the Barbie one and maybe even the volleyball one done. And then you did this third one, which was an awesome green
so pretty
print with gold. You used a gold fabric.
It was ginkgo leaves.
Yeah.
It was really pretty.
Yep.
So that was, so I got those done.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
And when I talked to Nina yesterday, she said her little girl, who's almost 2, likes the bag.
Aw, fun.
So, yeah.
Well, the 6-year-old you gave the Barbie one to
loved
it.
She's
Yes.
putting all her hair clips in there, she said.
So.
God only knows.
All right. I think that's all the stuff we have to show. Our plans over the next few weeks, we already told you about going to market.
Yeah.
And then I'm actually thinking, I think in 3 weeks, I will be in Virginia. Several of my girlfriends from college are getting together to visit and go see a play that another one is in. And I'm really looking forward to it. I was talking to one of my friends last night, and I think one of them I haven't seen since she had children. And that her kids are just a little younger than mine. Her oldest. No, Denise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
so
got a bunch of
anyway, I've seen a couple of them over the years, but this one I haven't seen in a long time. So there's going to be 6 of us all together. Just long weekend. It's going to be great. So we may be late in filming next time. Or depending, maybe we can fit it in the week after market.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on.
See what's going on.
So don't dismay if we're not back until the end of March. And then actually the end of March is
retreat.
It's spring break.
Yeah, and the first
spring
weekend in
break,
April
and
is
then
retreat.
So we have a busy spring, so we may be a little bit off schedule. Yeah.
And then the plans for me is obviously we're going to market, but a gal that I graduated from high school with many years ago. We are Facebook friends. We found each other, I can't remember, I guess through the classmates or whatever. And I sent her a note and told her we would be in Nashville. And so I'm going to get to see her. Yeah. And I figured it's been 60 years since we've seen each other. So that'll be really neat. I'm looking forward to seeing her. And then she has a friend that she's going to bring along who is a quilter. And we are Facebook friends. She just connected me with her. Yeah. So I'm going to get to meet Pam, and I'm going to get to see Judy. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
That's going to be fun.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what else.
So do you have any stitching, quilting, knitting plans in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I hope to finish unknitting that cowl so I can start re-knitting it again. And then I have something to show you. And as far as... Well, Pam hopefully will have the quilt finished for me, and I can get that done, and that'll be my quilt of the day the next time. That's been finished for a while, and that is I'm going to send to a friend after I show you guys. She doesn't know it's coming, and I've done that. I've gifted several people that I've been friends with for a long time with quilts, and just kind of they show up at their house. I don't tell them they're coming or anything. So we'll do that, and then stitching, I'll work on my sal, which is coming along. I'll work on my needlework, so I'll work on my mill hill. And I would imagine I can probably start something else.
Yeah. You might find something for market that you want to start right away.
Yeah. You can never tell.
I know.
There's so
I'm
much
not even
stuff.
going to pretend to tell you what I'm going to do for stitching, because what I told you last time is not what I did at all. But I actually, Mania in May, if you haven't heard of Stitch Mania, it was started many years ago, and the original plan was you start a new project every day, and like it started in 2015, so you started 15 projects the first 15 days of May, and it's just continued, and some people start one project every day in May.
I have a nervous breakdown.
I did it in like 2018, and I started one project each of the first 18 days of May, and then I was like, I'm not doing that again. So what I have found works best for me is I split the month into new starts and whips, and I like to have 5 of each, because then I spend 3 days on it. That's 30 days, and then I have a bonus day at the end of the month. So right now I have 10 whips, which is kind of high for me. Usually I run 5, 6, 7. And so the other night I was thinking to myself, I have to get down to 5 whips by the beginning of May so that I'm not forced to make a choice and not work on something for a full month. So I cleared off the coffee table and I laid out all my 10 projects by I could finish it quickest to like the most involved. And a couple of the most involved are multi-part series. One of them is the Lizzie Kate. One of them is my Crystal Reindeer. So I'm like, okay, those definitely not going to be finished. They'll be great to be 2 of my Stitch Mania projects. But then I was like playing the game of like, what could I get done fast enough? So we'll see. Hopefully I'm working my way.
Well, your hands-on design,
down.
that should go pretty quickly.
Well, but that's a 4-part if I count it, because where is it?
Yeah, that's right.
So if I just count it as it comes with all 4 charts. So if I just count the spring, then that could.
Yeah, because it started.
Yeah. But if I count.
That could be a new start.
Usually I would keep this in a bag as all 4.
Oh.
So anyway, we'll see.
But that could be a new start. That could be one of your 5 new starts.
Yeah. And maybe I do that with.
Lizzie Kate?
No. Yeah. No. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But. My goal is to start working myself towards having 5 whips by May 1st, which doesn't seem far away, but it'll be here like that.
I guess the other thing I want to do is I have a pile of neat fabrics to make project bags, and I would like to get a few of them made. Yeah. Instead of looking at the fabric all the time. Yeah. And you know, it's one of those things that once you do it, it's like, that didn't take that long. Why did I wait?
Why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, for sure.
Alrighty. Well, I think we're up to our question. You want to ask our question of the day today?
Our question of the day, based on where we're going this weekend, we want to know if you are a market shopper. Do you follow all the blogs that come out and the designers that preview all their stuff? And do you order? Do you pre-order through your shop? Do you make a list? Or do you just wait to see what comes in your shop? Or you don't follow it all because you figure you have enough stuff?
So, yeah.
I'll be surprised if anybody says that, but
yeah. And if you are following market, maybe tell us what pattern or designer you're excited about at this market, or something that you will be purchasing coming out of the market. It's always interesting to see what people like. Yeah. So.
And then when we come back, we'll probably have a few things to show you.
Yeah, we might have some haul next time. So
we're trying.
We'll see.
We're trying.
We'll see. All right. So. You want to close this out?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for staying with us. We enjoyed visiting with you. We hope you enjoyed. If you're new, we hope you'll click the subscribe button and come back. If you're returning, it was great to see you again. And we want to thank you all for everything. And then you can follow us on Instagram. She is at Jen Quilter. I am at Grand Stitches. If you have any questions or anything, you can put them in the comments, or you can email us twotallstitchers@gmail.com. And
and my blog.
Oh yes, Jennifer's Quilting Mom's blog. And that's always interesting. At the end of the month, she does a summary of what she's gotten done, and used to do a recipe one. You haven't been recipeing much lately.
No, we haven't been recipeing. I haven't done that for a while.
Yeah. And then so she'll have lots
I do a monthly recap.
Yeah, and that's always fun. Yeah. So we've enjoyed the day, and it's actually evening now. It's 6 o'clock. I can't believe it. We don't even have any wine. Down. It's only Diet Coke and Coke. So have a good 3 weeks. We hope to see you then, and enjoy your stitching. Bye.
Bye. Bye.